Hello to everyone out there, and part 2 of the Ducati Monster build. And what we're going to do today is try and create a rough shape on how we want the actual tank and the seat and the cowl to look. Now I am kind of thinking whether I should do it a whole single unit so that the frame is attached to the tail and everything. I think that might look neat, but I think what I might do is do 2 separate pieces and attach it right at the very end, and then obviously fill it out and everything to make it look smooth. That might be the easiest way to do it. But what we're going to do today is use pretty much insulating foam, 100mm insulating foam, layered up, and then that can create the rough bulk and the rough shape. And what we will do afterwards is use some clay, some modelling clay, to then actually model it all together and do the final shape that we need, because then that'll give us a smooth surface so we can do a reverse fiberglass mould and then carbon fibre. But today we'll just do the actual rough foam shape and then refine it after that. So that's all there is for today. But still, saying that, it's a mammoth job to get the shape right. As you would have seen from last week's video, or the week before, whenever it went out, you would have seen a rough sketch of the shape I wanted. I'm going to try and keep as true as that as possible. Here it is. So, with a new lift, which is amazing. Let me put it up actually. Just want to do this for the heck of it. So I'm at a point now where it's going on a little bit. Fits on there. Doesn't quite meet the frame yet. This bit obviously needs to come down another, say, 1.5 inches. The top's fine, the top clamps down. That little bit at the back there sits neatly on there, but there's obviously the middle section. I need to trim more of that off so it goes down lower. And I think I might need to cut some middle section out. If I bang on the top, I can see where it's pressing on. It's that battery there and it's that mount down there. But the tank, you can see, is getting too low. It needs to come up about there again. Obviously I'm going to be cutting all this off, but I do need a little bit of extra padding there. And my thought was another piece of foam on top, and that way I can shape it through there. But I'm just going to need a little bit there. But what I do need to be conscious of as well is the rear. This is the rear. Of course that's going to be shaped, but that does come to that. It's not going to be any longer than that. That's enough for that. So I'm kind of having to think of both sides at the same time. Concentrate on the tank at the moment. Let's shape it more to shape, and if I do need to, I can stick that on top. Not the end of the world. Carry on with that, I think. But I've decided for mounting this bit on there. It's such a tiny bit. If I waste it, I waste it. It's not the end of the world. I've got plenty of stuff in the back. So what I'm going to do now is some glue, stick it on, let it dry, and then I can shape it all. One less thing to worry about. Let's do that. Well, it is no secret that this is the diagram for the bike. So what we are looking for is a straight line going straight from that point of the tank straight to the back. So what I might do is actually put a piece of string from there all the way to there. But the tank is so shallow. And I drew this before I'd had a proper look at the depth of the air filter or anything like that. I mean, the option is to remove the air filter, but I don't want to do that really. This is where I'm at the moment. So, lift is a little bit high only because I want to look at the side more than anything. And it is taking shape. That needs to go a bit lower down, I think. It's a bit too high at the moment, so it needs to slope down a little bit. This is the line I was talking about. So what I might do is just put a piece of string, tie it around there, take it all the way to that point. I think this middle bit needs to go. That'll make the back of the tank thinner. And with that going down there, I think that's what it's needed. If you stand back, it's always better when you stand back actually. It's still a bit bulbous, and that's what I wanted to get rid of with this new tank, is for it not to be as bulbous as the old Ducati tank. The other side is done as well. This hole here is just for me to see the clearance really more than anything of the air filter, and we need to be mindful that the fuel cap is going to go somewhere. See, the natural place for the fuel cap is there, but I don't think it will fit, so I might actually move the fuel cap back here, and then that side needs to be trimmed a little bit more. You start to see the profile. It's a bit square at the moment, so again I need to shave the sides, but I'm just getting a basic and rough shape ready. And now I've started putting the seat on. You can see that line coming up from there to the back. I've started to do a bit of creative flair on the side there, some knee dents that are going to be moulded in, but just starting to get those just so I can get the feel of the shape and things like that. That's going to be obviously refined once I've got all the plasticine and everything around it, the modelling plasticine. So the seat, this is kind of what it's going to be, but all that foam is going to be cut right back. We need some reinforcement under there. So at the moment, there is nothing under there. Let's put that to one side. So there's nothing there. So I need to create a plate that goes from there all the way to the front. Okay, back from Diamond City Cycles in Florida, back in the UK again, and it is, what time is it? About 10 o'clock at night. It's the only time I get to work on the bike really is late at night because of so much work on at the moment, and obviously work pays the bills and everything. But back on this, so we last left it, I know it's going to be one continuous video, but heck, might as well take you through it. So I've not seen this now for about 2 weeks, or 3 weeks maybe. I need to shape that up. Got the tank kind of going in the right direction, but that needs shaving down. Obviously we're going to be covering it with clay and everything like that, but shave this down now and then we can call it a day. I think we've got a rough shape, and I've got the new clip-on bars on their way, new levers and everything like that, so obviously the front end's going to be a lot lower. It's not going to have that there, so it's going to, again, that's going to change the look on the front of the bike. Just see how we go. And then from the back, it's a lot narrower. Obviously that side needs to be a lot narrower. Again, that needs to come in, but that's what we might start doing now. See if we need, see if the clip-ons need a bit more space there. I don't think they do. I don't think they need dents in, but knee dents especially, and then get the seat done, and then it'll be ready for perhaps the clay. I might do the clay on top before I actually start doing the fairing. So that is the shape done. Happy with it as it is. I mean, there might be a few things that I'm going to tweak and all sorts. And of course, it needs that half fairing to go on the front. But this is my inspiration wall for the time being. You know, all sorts of kind of inspiration. You could have the exhaust going out at the back. I'm unsure what I'm going to do with the exhaust. You've got the ideas on what to do with the headlights and things. Other bikes that I like. We'll see how it goes. I mean, that one is completely radical. Look at that. Colour scheme is going to be orange and grey and black. I quite like that tank as well. And the finish on that is superb. But that is all from me for today. If you like what you see, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, visit the Mould Industries as well, or click the merch links down there if you want to buy some merch. Until next week, there will be a video. I have no idea what it will be, but until next week, ride safe, stay safe, and until then, see you then.